Hey everyone, it's Mark here, and I've got with me a special guest. The guy I've got with you today, he's been a friend of mine in online marketing for a number of years now. He's an absolute super affiliate. He makes over $10,000 a day now in affiliate commissions from a specific method that involves earning commissions without actually having to sell anything. It means you get paid per lead. So without further ado, I want to bring him on board here just to discuss a little bit of that. And I just want to say a big thank you, Aidan, for jumping on board today, especially because I know that you're out there, you're out at the beach on holiday with your family, and I sent you a message saying, hey, could I interview you? And you said, yeah, let's jump on a call now. So that's actually worked out quite well. So thanks so much for being here.
No, it's a pleasure. I always look forward to jumping on with you, Mark, and great to be here.
It's great to have you here. I think it almost for some people sounds too good to be true that you can get paid per lead, like for someone filling out a form, like their name, their email address, and answering a bunch of questions. But I think when people look into it a bit further, they'll discover that some of these companies, that's probably the only way they could have truly gone about it, because otherwise a lot of bigger companies get left with no affiliate program at all because of the fact that they may have too many complexities in their businesses, that it's easier for them to pay per lead than it is to work out who made what sale, who gets what commission along the lines. They may have other people on the phone and other things along the way. And yet they kind of know, well, we already spend a certain amount of money on television ads, a certain amount of money on radio, we'll spend a certain amount of money pay per lead. When it comes to online marketing, it's just part of a bigger process for bigger companies. How do you look at it? Like, what do you say to people that say, hey, why would people pay per lead? Why wouldn't they be safer and only pay per sale?
Yeah, well, a lot of the companies that do this, enormous companies, some of the biggest companies in the world, the likes of Apple, Microsoft, Uber, Airbnb, American Express, and many more, they all use this model. And the reason it works for them is because they are empowering essentially an army of affiliates to get targeted information for them. And a lot of these companies are not set up or designed in such a way to do this. It's kind of outside or beyond their scope of their everyday business. So it really is a win-win, and there's no downside. And they know very well what a lead is worth, what a certain type of information is worth for them, so they can bake that into their marketing plan and enable people like us to make really healthy commissions just by providing that kind of information.
Yeah, and the thing is, the world's changed. I mean, back in the past, they knew how Visa, for instance, knew how much it would cost them per lead, so they could run television ads, but they would try to make a certain amount of new credit card applications per dollar spent on paid ads. Otherwise, they'd change networks or they would muck around with that. They already knew their numbers, but now they say, wow, there's a whole army of regular folk now that are able to run paid ads or run social media and all sorts of places that it's not very easy for them to just go ahead and compete against it. They would rather pay you for the ability to have a whole army of a lot of people working for them, driving them more visitors. So that's where it is. We're talking about an area of business where in the past, yes, there was some lead generation opportunities even for a number of years, but there weren't a lot of the bigger players involved, or they weren't paying high enough payouts to make it worthwhile. And that's changed now. So now you've got, not only have you got a lot of the little guys succeeding with running affiliate programs, you've also got some of these big players, and that's what you're doing. You're focusing in on, like, you're not too worried about pay per sale. You're focusing in pretty much exclusively on people that will pay you for sending emails and names and email addresses, or names, emails, and filling out a form that makes them relevant to a particular market. How did you come across this, and what got you excited about it to actually delve in and spend the time that it took to really nut this out? Because I know you're already succeeding in online business, so it takes a bit for you to actually bother to actually step outside of what you're doing and you don't look at every shiny object that comes along. What made you go ahead and say, this is one I really want to delve into?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, we actually started doing this in my business way back in 2006. So I started online in 2005, and one of the things that we did very early on in the first couple of years was buy a website that already existed that was doing this exact same thing. And obviously, that's going back 17 plus years there, and the websites were different, and the way that we ran things were different, but the model was essentially the same. The payouts were a lot less than what they are now, but we were still getting commissions on this free traffic. So we've known about this model and actively used it for almost 2 decades at this point. But in the last few years, I think for multiple reasons, for a bunch of reasons, it's really become more viable than ever. We're seeing there are more and more, like thousands of offers out there that are now enabling people to earn commissions without actually ever having to sell anything. And the amount of commissions that we can earn are not a couple of dollars. Sometimes they are hundreds of dollars. So it's become very, very lucrative. And in a marketplace where a lot of people have been complicating things or finding it tough to get traffic, this is a very easy way that we've been able to get traffic that is interested in what we are serving up. And I think that whole sort of aligned flow of everything just makes it that much easier for us.
Yeah, I don't want to pretend as though this model hasn't been around. It's just that there weren't as many offers and they weren't paying out as much as they are now going back further. It's almost like mainstream is now really starting to cotton on to, we actually need to have an affiliate program, like a lot of bigger places out there are, or they're making them better quality. Like I know one guy that's made over $1 million from pay per lead, similar to you, with satellite installations. So people just installing like satellite dishes, and then another person's doing very, very well with, in fact, similar numbers to that with solar power panels. Someone fills in info, I'm interested in solar panels, and it's not just a few people doing this. There's a lot of people that are doing very, very well, and you're obviously one of the best for 10,000 a day. I think that's pretty incredible. For people that are wondering about this, I've been testing Aidan's model since October, so it's only been a couple months, already doing over 1,000 a week in profits, and that's just early days. Bear in mind, I've got a whole business to run. I do a lot of other things. This is a side thing. This isn't something that I have gone ahead and gone full gung-ho into yet, but now that I've seen some benefits and some profits, now I've got to look at that and go, wow, I need to reinvest and spend more and try to scale this up, because this little experiment has turned into something pretty impressive. And I think that's fantastic. One thing that I noticed really early on was that there seemed to be no issues with these niches when it comes to paid traffic. Now, I'm not saying that other niches are necessarily bad. It's just that some niches are a lot less difficult to run paid traffic and get approved by human reviewers than others. When you try and run some of these offers from these bigger companies, tends to be like pretty much straightforward, that your ads run and everything's going quite smoothly. Have you found that when you've entered new niches in this space?
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing that we've noticed, just as a point of difference from other types of ads, is the ads and the way that we're getting the traffic is with very, very simple ads for the most part. And there are ways that you can get free traffic as well. But if you are using an ad to drive traffic, that same ad might have a longevity of multiple years without needing to touch a single thing. Whereas in other things that we've done in the past, we've been changing ads up, every month or sometimes every week to keep things fresh. But because this is very, very simple, and we are just saying we're serving up information about what people are actually looking for, we find that the ads have a lot more longevity as well. And just like always, you need to be compliant, but we are absolutely playing by the rules in everything that we're doing here. And Google and Microsoft and the other traffic platforms that we use, they absolutely love what we're doing. And we've just had we've just had no issues with traffic and in general really.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good. And one thing that I've really liked about it is that you've got a lot of secret source ways to actually boost the amount earned per visitor. It's not just a matter of send people straight over to the website and that's it, done and dusted. Like, people are able to save the leads, remarket to those leads. People are able to use a number of little tactics that are the key really to profiting, as opposed to breaking even from the traffic. Like, the profits are very strong, and I think that's really huge. And the other thing is getting approved by these networks as well. Like, it's quite good, like going through someone like you, going through your process to get approved, so that there's not too much back and forth. It's quite easy to actually be able to run the offers no matter where you are in the world. I'm in New Zealand. You obviously, most of the year round, you're in New Zealand right now, but most of the year round you're in Argentina. You have no troubles. You can be anywhere. Other people can be in the USA. So I think that that's a little point of difference as well that I think's quite helpful. So what were your findings anyway when it came to, like, you started running this with a group of beta testers, myself included, that a lot of them are a lot greener than me, that are doing very, very well with this. What were your findings? What did they find tough and what did they find easy about the whole thing?
Yeah. I think, I can talk about things that they were, I think, surprised about. I think they were surprised at the speed at which they were able to generate money coming into their websites. I think they found it easier than they anticipated to sort of turn the traffic on. I think a lot of people have got a misconception that, you're setting up, or they come from backgrounds where they've had to set up complex affiliate websites or complex e-commerce stores, and they've looked at what we're doing and we have one single page and it might have 20 to 30 words on it and that's it. And they've seen how quick that is to sort of get set up and running. One thing that I've been absolutely ecstatic about really is every single person that came into our pilot program has come out the other end with a website that is making them not just $100 a day, but $400, $500 a day and upwards. And I think that really talks volumes to the fact that we've boiled it down to something that people from anywhere in the world can really tap into. I think also the fact that I think people have found it easy that they're not going out there and overcomplicating the niche finding process. We filter through different niches or products, really, not even niches, and we look at the earnings metrics from each one's, and then we can say, okay, I'm gonna have a go at this one. And most people have been making hundreds of dollars a day from just one keyword, for example, and that keyword is like a search term. So I think people have been pleasantly surprised by that. So I think it's just been a very streamlined approach where people can go from getting started to turning the traffic on. And then once the traffic's turned on, I mean, in many cases, people have been making money the very same day. And it might take a week to kind of optimize that and get to the point where you're doing profits, or maybe longer, or some people are profitable straight out of the gate. But I think that's been something that people have been, pretty pleasantly surprised about.
Yeah, and just so people are aware, what you mean by making money but profitable is, like, if you spend $50 and you make $14 back, it's like, yeah, you might have sent a couple of leads, you got paid $7 a lead, and you may have lost $36 there, but you might find within a week you're spending $50 a day and you're making 50 back, and then a week later you're spending 50 a day and making 100 a day back. Something like that as an example. Or you could be starting with lower spend numbers than that, or you could be starting with higher spend numbers. But one way or another, it does take optimization. It's a genuine business model, and no business model is going to just be perfect out of the gate every time for every person. There's usually a little bit of tweaking and tinkering, and I don't think that that's a problem. What I really liked was, with a little bit of work, already making more than enough for most people as a full-time income, and now it's ready to just scale further and further, all in the space of about six weeks doing this on the side. I can't imagine how well someone's going to do doing this, spending a bit more hours, per day. That you're going to have some people are going to make millions this year out of this. It's a fantastic model, and I want to congratulate you on that. So if I want to be able to give more details to people, though, I want people to be able to see some examples, hear a little bit more about the people that have done this with you, case studies, stuff like that. Really just get to see how this model works on camera. We're talking about it, but it'd be cool to see a little bit more on screen. What will be covered on the workshop? Because I'm going to have a workshop with you, so I think people should know about that so that they make sure that they don't miss it.
Yeah, so with the workshop, it allows me to show people in real time exactly what's happening, and sort of log into my accounts and say, hey, look, this is the money that we've made today. This is how we made it. These are the steps I've gone through, and this is how you run the business. And we boil it down to 3 simple steps, but there are things you need to know about. There are mistakes that people would make if they didn't know the things that we've learned through over 15 years of sort of tweaking this and polishing it into what it is today. So we'll go through all of that. We'll go through all the common questions, and I'll personally make sure that every single person's question is answered on the workshop. Live examples, niche examples. We'll give a showcase of some of the secret software that allows us to streamline things behind the scenes, and much, much more. So I think if you've got the opportunity to tune into a workshop, then absolutely do it, because I'm going to be able to show you so much more by having you on there.
Cool. No, that's fantastic. And thanks so much. I won't keep you any longer. I know you're with the family. You're out at the beach. I just want to say a big thanks for stopping in to have this call. And I'm looking forward to the workshop. I think it's going to be fantastic for a lot of people, really, really eye-opening. And for some people, this is going to be exactly what they need to make 2023 their best every year online. So thanks so much, Aidan.
No, it's a pleasure, and I look forward to jumping on the workshop with you and just sharing more of this information and more examples with everyone. So hopefully there are people out there that are going to be able to use this to improve their lives. So thanks for having me here, Mark. I'll look forward to seeing you on the workshop.
Cool. And for everyone else out there, don't forget, I've released a few previous videos in this series. If you haven't seen them yet, go check them out. They should be in the link in the description below, or further up the page if you happen to be on a page with multi-videos on it. And I look forward to bringing the workshop to you guys. It'll either be in the link in the description below, or it'll be below this video as soon as I have the link. If it's not there yet, then it'll say coming soon until I have it, but the workshop's taking place very shortly. Don't miss it. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks again, Aidan, and take action with what you learn, and see you next time, guys. Bye for now.